Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is Pamela Marie Edmunds, and this is Pet Detectives Radio Show. Yes, Pamela's gone from Bridge Between Two Worlds, went to Love Never Dies, and now is doing Pet Detectives Radio Show. And I am a medium, evidential medium, a trance medium, trance channel, whatever term you wish to use, animal communicator, pet detective, of course, and radio show host. Okay. And tonight, we're honoring, I'm going to say the felines, the cats. The 27th, a few days back, was National Cat Day, which I researched, by the way, for those of you who didn't get to hear me, and I'm going to say it again. If I did, I apologize. That there is also a National Dog Day and another National Cat Day, and both are in the month of August. So hopefully some of these special days we'll honor here on the show. Besides giving you information other times about the various cases that Pet Detectives International is involved in, okay? And I am one of the prime members of Pet Detectives International, an organization June Evans started a number of years ago. And she will be here at some point because I know she said she was going to come in unless something comes up and she gets sidetracked. That happens for all of us. But for those of you, a lot of the reason for this is my love for animals. And I've got dear beloved Sylvester here. And for those of you who've been around a little bit, also Earth Angel, who Sylvester's here in the physical, and Sylvester's cat. And Earth Angel is a dog who has been in spirit. Let me see, it'll be 6 years this January since he crossed over. But he communicates, brings lots of wonderful information forward. So tonight is to honor the cats. A couple days later, that's okay. And for people, if they've got cats or had cats, to bring forward their stories, maybe some pictures. And if you don't have a picture, that's okay. Welcome, Judy Murphy. Great to see you. And I know you've got a cat with lots of great stories to share. And can you mute yourself just for the time being here? That way we don't get any of the, you can go about your own business without interfering with any of the conversation here. Okay, I can actually mute. All right, I'm trying to mute. I think we need permission from you. Muting Judy Murphy, we have two Judys here tonight, by the way, is in the far lower left-hand corner. It says mute. If you click on that, do you hear me, Judy? She may not even be in front of the screen. That's okay. There's no noise coming from her. We're just going to let it ride for now, okay? I tried clicking the mute, but it was National Cat Day. So we got to have a National Cat Party, right? And to help celebrate, here's Sylvester. For anybody who has not met Sylvester, I don't know if Cindy's met Sylvester yet. Judy Murphy knows of Sylvester, has not officially met Sylvester. Judy Murphy, are you there, sweetheart? Can you talk? Say something, please. Say hello. She may not have her mic working too. So I know it's her first time there, but I also know Judy Murphy has a cat by the name of January, who is also an animal communicator. Well, hello, handsome. He's purring away. He's happy. He's happy. So this is my kitty, Sylvester. And for those of you who are new to this, Sylvester is a part of Pet Detectives International. And the best way he does communication is via my cell phone. And we did a little bit of this last week, but I want to just share a little bit, some of the background about him. And I was talking a little bit briefly before we started. The last two pets that I've had, Sylvester, and previous, yes, I'm getting hand washing. And previous to that, Earth Angel, my guides guided me to find the animals, okay? Earth Angel was with me for 14 years, beautiful dog. He's actually, if any of you got a invite via Facebook, that's his picture on the front top of the cover of the, for the radio show. And I was guided to find him. I was led to exactly where he was, and that I was supposed to adopt him. Why? Because of the connection he and I have made now. Now that he communicates from the spirit side of life, he helps out with Pet Detectives International. This cat here, Sylvester, which I did not name, it came to me in the shower just before I went to go find him. All right? And excuse me if I'm repeating myself here, because I was talking a little bit before I put the recorder on and started the show. He was found, I'm broadcasting from Sedona, Arizona, for anybody who's not been here. The Red Rocks, gorgeous, spectacular, energetic. Okay, you're gonna hang out here for a few minutes. I got him in his kitty bed too, in my arms. And there's a shelter here in town here, the Humane Society. And then there's one about 25 minutes away going down to another location, Cottonwood. And I knew that. So my guide started talking to me about me getting a cat. And they told me where, Sedona, Humane Society. Told me black and white. Guess what? He's black and white. And that I would know who the kitty was. I had no clue who this was. I says, how am I going to know who it is? Oh, you'll know. Well, when I walked in the shelter, it's how can I say? It's roomed off. Different areas are closed off. They're all glass, so you can see inside them. And I went into this one area. This kitty that I'm holding in my arms approached me and started crying away and didn't stop talking. There was no way I could miss him. And I knew he was supposed to come with me. And even when I was finally going there to adopt him, pick him up, I was hesitant. I heard his name in the shower, Sylvester, just before I went. I picked up a kitty carrier so I could bring him, and I brought him home. Well, he arrived several months before I had a diagnosis with cancer, breast cancer. Some of you knew this. But it was important that he be with me during that time. Me living alone, me living out here in Arizona, no family. And he was part of my healing. Animals, how many other people here can acknowledge their pets as being healers and specifically tuned into your energy? Okay. And this is some of the stories that we're going to have to share. So as I've gotten better, which I'm fine, I'm past all of that, I'm doing well, and Spirit has opened us up for more communicating, more work. Look at the face on him, wonderful looking face. He's listening to mom. Plus mom's giving him some nice strokes under the neck. He likes that. So I want to open it up to hear some stories. And if we want to talk about a few dogs, that's okay too. That's okay too. I'd love to hear from Judy Murphy. If I know she's here. She may be having trouble getting audio going. I don't know. Sue Porto, if she's come back to the Zoom room. I would love to hear some things from her to share. Sue is also I'm going to say an advocate for animals, and has been doing it for a number of years. Sue, are you there, hon?
Yeah, I am.
Is Mom all settled in for the moment?
Yes, for the next 10 minutes, sure, but
that's okay. That's okay. And bless your mom. She's 100 years old.
Yeah,
right?
she is. Yeah, and she was a World War II Army nurse, and she also flew planes, so she's tough. And all I can say is, I don't mean to be gross here, but every time I go to Costco, I buy a lot of toilet paper. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Because it's every 10 minutes back and forth. So I'm sorry to say that. And they've been out of it. They've been out of it lately. So hey, we have to be like the Native Americans with the leaves pretty soon.
Right. So tonight, dear, is the National Cat Day Day party, which National Cat Day was listed for I looked it up to 27th, a few days back. They do also have another one listed in August, as they have one for dogs then too. But you and I have known each other for a number of years through the Spiritualist Church, through my work as a medium, and you've also been developing your own medium skills, haven't you?
A bit, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say quite a bit, more than you realize, okay? And you've been a strong advocate for animals.
Well, I'm an animal rights attorney, so.
Thank you. Yeah. Animal rights attorney. I never heard, I knew you were an attorney. I did not know your title, but that's beautiful. So could you explain a little bit how what people would hire you for?
Well, my focus is on factory farming and how farmed animals are raised. So you have to work with either nonprofits, a lot of it's pro bono, just trying to educate people about factory farming and the animals on their plate. And hopefully someday we'll all evolve a little bit more to understand that it's not just it's just not our companion animals that we have to love, but we have to love the ones we don't own as well, you know.
Right. And I know you, because of the work you do, that you are also vegetarian, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that another strong aspect of this. And I'm going to tell you, I'm still eating meats, but I will tell you, I feel like the more I get involved in this work, the less meats I'm going to be eating. I actually had an experience. I'll just share. I had chicken in the house, okay, and I was preparing it. Sylvester, I heard in the other room as he was at his kitty litter or eating food, and I had this sort of aha moment of I was holding a chicken leg, and it's kind of like, ooh, that's my cat, and the relationship, and it's just kind of like, so it's in process. So
well, we're all works in process, right? So
so cats, you were sharing real briefly. First off, okay, I want to say a beloved kitty, Squeaky, who crossed over back in August, I believe, the end of August or something, right?
Right, middle.
And Squeaky's no longer here. No. But you all, can you talk a little bit about Squeaky? Just stories.
Yeah, he showed up on my property in my rose garden about 7 years ago, and very gentle kitty. And my tiger, who's alpha male, didn't like it, so he, took him by the neck and was shaking him. And then what happened was tables were reversed. Squeaky and Tiger had a fight and almost killed Tiger. And I had to give Tiger antibiotics. And then Tiger became the top male, and Bootsy, the tuxedo, gravitated towards Squeaky and oust Tiger. So dynamics. So, and then, Bootsy passed of cancer. He had feline
sorry.
digit, feline digit lung syndrome. Or well, maybe get it wrong, but it's a syndrome where there's cancer and you don't know the cat has it until you see the feet start bleeding. That's a sign,
Oh,
and it's terminal. Once you see that, they can't cure it anyhow. So I think it's feline lung digit syndrome. So if
oh.
I thought it was diabetes or something, or just a wound that didn't heal, but that's a sign that they have that particular cancer if they continue to bleed from their feet. So, but anyway, so Squeaky, he took over. Tiger found someplace else, and then gradually they start becoming friends. Over this summer, my Tiger is older. He's 13. Squeaky was 7, and Squeaky wanted to be friends, but didn't understand that Tiger, older cat, doesn't understand about playing tag. Thought that Squeaky was going to kill him again. So
Oh,
yeah. So he kind of tagged him on the back with his paw, and they were running around screaming. But unfortunately, at 4 a.m, and I have to ask your opinion, Pamela,
What's yours?
because at 4 a.m. on August 16th, I woke up. Okay, I don't know whether it was from my mother going back and forth to the bathroom or if I had to go, but I woke up. I went to the door to check Squeaky. Sometimes he stays right outside the kitchen door, and I saw him on the mat, but I saw him kind of like hunkering down. And we have raccoons here too that have bothered him, but didn't
Okay.
hurt him. And so I just turned the light on and I said, oh, he's annoyed at the raccoons. Had I opened the door, I probably would have seen that coyote and scared him away. And in the morning when I woke up to feed him, he wasn't there, but I could see the turmoil in the atmosphere, and I could smell the death because there was obviously some types of fluids around. I thought it was a skunk, but it wasn't. Thinking back, and I to this day I'm beating myself up because had I just opened the door, I would have saved Squeaky by having the coyote run away. Had I only done that, and I'm wondering if my intuition got me up. Somebody got me up, maybe my spirit guides or somebody got me up. But then my analytical brain took over and said, oh, he's just concerned about the raccoons, and that overshadowed my intuition. And that, I don't know how you can, you can.
May I say first off,
Yeah.
as a pet mom, that's the term that June Elaine and I use. Pet mom or pet dad or pet parents.
Right.
It's because you're the mom. You're
right.
the mom.
Well, they're my kids. Yeah.
Right. They're your kids.
Yeah.
You look after them. We call them our kids. They react to us as parents. Guilt is something that is very common for any kind of parent to take on. And what I want to say to you here is, yes, you are a developing medium. You've got a strong intuition. The thing is, you did exactly what you were supposed to do that night.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it that way.
Yeah.
If that was the exact time that Squeaky crossed over, you had no control over it. Okay?
Even if I had opened the door to scare the coyote
you know
away.
what? Do you know what I've come to learn? And this is for everybody else to hear. We all have a death time.
Yeah.
There are death doors that show up in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's how we react to that as to whether we take that particular door or we avoid it and choose to stick around. But for whatever reason, Squeaky, it was time for Squeaky to move on.
Yeah.
That's what I need to say.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because
please dissolve that guilt.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I used to work in the World Trade Center. I worked on the 54th floor. Yes. And had I worked there many, many, many years later, I would have been in that horrendous attack. So it's all, I guess it is predetermined in a way.
That's
time and place and things like that. Yeah.
Right. And we all, for everybody listening, we all do create some sort of a contract when we're in the spirit world before we incarnate. I believe the animals do the same thing. It's maybe it's on a different level, but they contract to be with us.
Yeah, but
No.
as a mother, you're supposed to protect. You're supposed to protect. And I'm well, I wouldn't say I'm a control freak, but I do like to be in charge of things.
I
And
know.
if if I'm not, it just it doesn't sit well. So, you know.
Well, and another thing is talk to Squeaky and tell him
Yeah.
tell
I
him
do.
to accept your apologies, and that you loved him dearly and miss him, you know.
Can I just tell you something? I don't know how much time I can take, but I think it's important. When my father died, we bought a St. Francis of Assisi statue with a crane on it. And we went to the beach with my father's ashes and saw a crane on the beach. So from then on, I knew if I saw a crane, it was a sign from my father. Every day, every year on his anniversary of his death, I went to the beach in Playland, because he loved the water, to throw a rose into the water. I was doing this on September 13th, driving with my rose to Playland, crying my eyes out. Thank God I didn't hit a pole because I couldn't see where I was going. Saying, you know, Daddy, I love you. I love Squeaky. Tell him I'm sorry. Is he with you? Is he with, you know, just give me a sign. I was stopping for a light. I looked up and there's a crane flying overhead. So I think I got a sign. I think I got a sign. Yeah.
Sue, and everybody here listening, and you see Denise nodding here. Denise, welcome, Denise. And the others, I'm sure, are nodding behind their screens. And Judy, Judy in the upper, well, she's Judy in the upper left, because we have two Judys here tonight. But everyone has some sort of experiences that tie them to their loved ones, okay? And I do feel like Squeaky and you have your own, okay? But thank you for sharing, and please just let that go. You can't be in charge of everybody.
Uh-oh.
And even the animals, all right? You follow me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
You can
ma'am. I'll
hover
try.
over them as you can. I mean, you're a caregiver for your mom. God bless
Yeah.
her. You know, and you do have one other kitty now that's around.
Tiger, yes.
Tiger, okay. And I mean, you can't be there all the time.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
That's the bottom line about anybody as a parent or pet parent. So anyway, I'd love to, okay. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome. And Judy Murphy, I'm trying to see if I can get her to talk, if she's going to share, or if she's just going to be in the background. Okay, there was a message in chat. Sue Porto, if you can click on the chat, somebody was asking if you had could recommend any sites to learn more about factory farming of animals. Okay, I don't know if
I will do that now. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. Wonderful. And for those of Denise showed up recently and we were talking, and Sue actually is, this is something I knew she was an attorney, but I didn't know she was an attorney in regards to, how did you call it, Sue? I'm sorry. It's
called factory farming. And even if people aren't really concerned about the animals themselves, you have to be concerned about the environment, because it impacts the environment and the person's health as well. So it's all interwoven, you know. So
that makes sense. And,
yeah.
And in the title that you have again, what is it?
What title?
Farm animal attorney.
Oh, you know what? I don't even like titles, but I'm just working to make a better place for everybody, and the Mother Earth and the animals. I don't, because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of my colleagues, they're so impressed with themselves, and it just makes me crazy. We're all together. We're all trying to do good things together. So, you know.
And your focus is on any and all animals on the planet, really.
You know, I just want to make it better for everybody. Elevate everybody, you know, so we all go on to a better place. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Okay. Anybody who'd like to share about any of the things we talked about tonight? Tonight was the focus on kitties, but that's okay. We can, okay. Judy with her hand up.
You
I'm
know,
drawing,
I can always talk.
Judith A. Deer, go ahead.
Well, since I've been an adult, I have definitely felt like I wanted to take care of every animal that exists, wild or domestic or whatever. Of course, I cannot do that, but I have taken in so many animals over the
Hi,
years.
Lori.
Cats and dogs. Hey, Lori. Cats and dogs, but then after Boo made his transition, I decided, because of my age and because of my financial status and being alone, that I would not take on the care of any more animals directly. Now I can contribute to funds, and then as soon as you make a statement like that, here they come. And here come these, they call them community cats, cats that are either feral or have been left behind by their families. So I'm now feeding 3 different community cats. Of course, we had to trap them. They were neutered and spayed, got their shots. The 2 that stay at my house, I have them chipped. And so they all get fed every day, including several that I never see except at night, that come around to eat, plus the possums that polish off the dry food.
Ah,
Everybody gets something. Everybody gets a little something.
Yep.
And I feed the
Yep.
birds too. So.
so it's like you just haven't taken on a pet that you call yours, but a whole bunch of other animals.
Whatever
said-
shuts up.
Yeah, and I that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
And I wish I could do more.
Right.
Truthfully.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, Judy.
Oh, you're
And I
welcome.
want to just share, we've got a couple, well, Denise and Lori, the newest arrivals here, that yes, the topic was National Cats Day, but we're opening it up to talking about dogs too. And I know Lori's been a kitty mom, I'll call it, pet mom for kitties. Denise, I saw a beautiful dog there since you showed up. And I know Donald is here, but Donald also he's a dog lover, and I'm sure he's got some stories about some of his pets too. And Judy Murphy kind of is, I guess she's in listening mode, but she's got a beautiful cat named January, who is also a communicator for dear friend June Lang, who apparently she got tied up, not able to be here. So, oh, Lori, I'm sorry to hear that. Lori posted in chat, my friend lost her cat last night. So this afternoon we had a good cry over it. Lori, did the cat pass the spirit?
Yes.
What happened?
Don't know. She just stopped eating and drinking and said, it's time. I'm ready. And what was very strange was that I saw the post, but I didn't read it. And at the very same time, up on the mattress where the cat sits, at 10:30, she sat up and she just stared into the corner.
That was your cat.
That was my cat looking in the corner. And I said, oh, Cassie's come to visit. Because I would say she would. And when I read the post, I was like, oh, shit.
And I'm guessing you knew the cat.
Yes. Yes. I was known as Auntie because when I would talk to her and
Auntie.
when I would talk to my friend and she had me on speaker, her cat would come up and I could hear the phone getting knocked over all over the place and she'd be meowing up a storm. So,
Because she wanted to talk to you. What was the cat's name?
Cassie.
Cassie. Okay.
Definitely a diva.
A diva. Okay.
Definitely a diva.
And markings, can you share?
All gray. And I think just her toes were white.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Well, Cassie, We sent some love and light to Cassie for a smooth transition. And also Cassie's pet mom,
Catherine.
Catherine.
Okay.
We send some prayers to Catherine too for this time for her too. And
And her
and I
pet
don't,
dad Bones.
pardon?
And her pet dad Bones.
Okay, Bones. Okay, that's cute. Okay, all right. But yeah, and for those of you that have known me for a while or just learning me, I am in process of pursuing becoming a pet chaplain. It's something that's I've been intrigued with, and it's just some time of me doing some studying. And what's a pet chaplain? The same thing as a regular chaplain could be, but for people in regards to their pets. And we talk counseling, we talk helping out. It's whatever is needing, counseling, listening. I mean, yeah. So and this is an important part of the work that I and the founder of Pet Detectives International, June Elaine, and I are pursuing to do. And it's losing a pet sometimes is more traumatic than losing a loved one, because they're right there beside us.
Yep.
For the whole time they're with us, and they're our buddies. They are our buddies. It's almost like they're an appendage of us, So I have compassion for what Catherine's going through, and even for you as auntie, and I'm sure others here do too. So, and this is an important part of acknowledging our pets.
Yep.
A big part, because they don't come in to stay the 60 plus years that we can be here on the planet, do they? They maybe come in for 15 to 20 even, maybe, depending upon the pet. And yeah, it's quite an experience. So who else would like to?
I was going to say, a couple of years ago, my sister's dog was very old. And she called me one night and she goes, I don't know what to do, because now she's just like walking in circles. And sometimes she just, like walks up to the wall and she stands there. And I said, that's never a good sign. And I'm not going to say it's time to put your dog to sleep. And I said, you know what? Why don't you send a message to June and see what your dog is trying to tell you? And then you'll know where to go from there. And she took June, she listened to June and what June was saying, what the dog was saying, because I said, sometimes we don't actually hear it. We can guess, but she did end up having to put her dog down. It was some kind of neurological thing and she was just suffering. So
Right.
I'm thankful for you and June and people like you that we can do that. We can, call you and say, I don't know what's going on. Are you getting anything? How are they sick? What's happening? And
they're
you
our
know,
family.
yeah.
They are our family.
Yes.
And if we're talking about our pets 20 years ago, we would not be talking this depth. I don't know how many people, you notice how it's changed? They've become more and more important to us.
Well, I think more people are getting pets, so maybe it's more widespread. But we've always had a dog growing up. And it was
I did
always part of
too.
and it was always part of the family. It was never anything different.
Right. Yet what I'm feeling is this planet, its people, we're raising our vibrations.
Yes.
We're becoming more connected to love, right? Those cats, those dogs, the birds, whatever, who we take in as a pet, are doing the same thing. They were loving back then, but we didn't notice it quite as much as we're noticing it now because we're more loving. Am I making some sense, Lori?
Well, and I think too that we've forced ourselves to slow down and take notice.
Yeah.
I think maybe they were loving all along, but we were just like, "Ugh," you know, working the 40-hour week, then you want to go someplace on the weekends, you know, you'd go on vacation. I think we're slowing down enough to notice all of that.
That may be another piece of it. Plus, we're also becoming more of who we are. And I want to add to that, we're also spiritually awake now. Whereas a lot of us back then were not awake and did not necessarily connect to another vibration, another being in the same exact way.
Well, I think 40 years ago, you would have been locked up if you said that out in public. You know,
Well,
I know what this animal's telling me, and they're going, sure, lady.
well, yeah, and back then we didn't have animal communicators, did we?
Right. And if they did, if we did, and I'm sure we have all throughout time, somebody's been able to communicate with animals. It wasn't, they kept it to themselves.
Well, and we did the same thing as far as spirit communication, didn't we?
Right.
It wasn't acceptable until a few forerunners, we'll call them.
Well, you didn't want to get burned at the stake, so you.
Yep, for witch, being a witch, exactly. So, yeah, thank you, Lori, very much. My heart goes out to you, sweetie, and please just tell your friend Catherine that, you know, there was a group of us, it was Animal Talk, and that we all sent a lot of love and blessings to her this time. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Who else would like to talk? Yeah, the topics come off a little bit of the original, but it's like we got the group together. That was part of it too here. Donald, you've gone through a lot of pets in your lifetime, haven't you, dear?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Isn't that one of the most difficult times when we have to put a pet down, or the pet crosses over on
It
its
truly
own?
is. I mean, it's like my favorite, my heart dog, Christian. You know, he passed in 2013, and it's still there. You know, but it's as hard as it is to let him go. I'm not going to let one suffer. You know, I mean,
Right.
that I've seen far too many times. People, oh, I just can't bear to let him go. And the thing of it is, to me, I can't bear to let them suffer. You know, I didn't take them in, give them a good life for however many years to get ridiculous at the end of it. And they're no longer having fun. They, you know, they know it's time for them to go. And you've got to really listen to them. There's no need to let one suffer needlessly. To me, that would hurt me worse than the actual loss, I do believe.
Thank you. That's important, even though it tears us apart. Okay, somebody else spoke. Hello. I heard another voice. I'm not here.
Sorry. It's the only time we get to be their hero.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was one that she says is the only time we get to be their hero.
Is that somebody with you there, Donald?
Is, you know,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
It's,
Well,
you know,
yep. And I'm going to share something here, and June Elaine's not here. June Elaine Evans is the founder of Pet Detectives International. I'm referencing her a few times, and that's part of the reason why this show is up here. But it's also for all of you to share and talk about a lot of these things. What I want to just say is, if you go to the website, petdetectivesinternational.net, there is a blog in there. There's one blog that's been put up there now. And it came from June Elaine, and it's about animals wanting rights and basically them not wanting their lives extended. Pretty much a lot of them, they don't want to go through chemo. They don't want to have surgeries. If they've become sick, please, it's like, let them go naturally. And that could be a conversation here people maybe don't care for, but people can maybe understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Donald, and who's your friend back there with you, Donald?
That's Wanda.
Wanda. Hi, Wanda. Good to hear you.
Hello.
Hi. So, yeah. Any other, okay, Denise, you want to say hello, sweetheart? I know you always have something good to share. Thanks, Donald and Wanda. I gotta unmute you, sweetheart. I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Hi,
That's okay.
everybody.
Hi.
I'm just enjoying listening. I'm new to this pet stuff, but I've got 4 pets, and I
What have you
always have
got?
pets.
I saw
What do
the dog. It looked like a shepherd, was it?
That's my puppy. That's like big now.
They get big
And,
fast, don't they?
Oh my gosh, he was just this big, and now he's like this big. 4
Okay.
months.
And
Yeah.
what's his name?
Oh, that one's Kingdom.
Kingdom. Okay. All right. And what
But
else do you have for pets?
I've got Bella. She's the big lab. She's on her way out, and I've got Bear, and I've got Baby. They're 2 cats.
Okay. Awesome. So you've
Yeah,
been a
but
cat lover too.
I love animals, and I'm just kind of getting to know this program, and it's interesting, and I appreciate being able to participate. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm glad you're here. And Denise has also been I'm going to say she's also a developing medium at some point here and working at her skills, as is actually several people who are a number of people here. I'm going to say most of you are all pretty much sensitive and therefore highly intuitive, which is a big part of mediumship skills and extremely important. So, but yeah, Denise, so awesome. You got a whole family of pets. So yeah,
I do.
right. And I also know you have several kids under your roof too. I'm talking people kids. So
Yep, we
that
do.
that runs the gamut too. So anyway, so thank you. Wanted to see if
Thank
Cindy,
you.
great, Cindy down below here. Cindy's got beautiful picture of a dog. See if Cindy is anything she'd like to share here tonight. We've gone off track a little bit, but that's okay. That's the way this show's supposed to go. So Cindy, hi, how are you, dear?
I'm doing very well tonight.
Good.
Loving the show. And I wanted to put up a picture of my Bugatti, my cat, who passed several years ago, but we
Okay.
had him for quite a few years. He was a shelter cat. And again, walked into the shelter looking for a kitten. He was already several months old. But I was looking for like a little fuzzy kitten, and this
Yep.
older cat walked up, maybe he was almost a year old, and just kept meowing and meowing and me. And it was like
Okay.
he was saying, me, look at me, So,
Yep.
so I was like, okay, this guy got to go home. But we had him several years, and then he passed. But I was saying to Donald earlier that out of all the babies I lost, the collies, the shelties, the kittens, which were many, because we adopted seniors. So we would have a senior for so many years, and we would lose them, we take care
Yep.
of them, that we would lose them.
Right.
And then our friend at rescue would call us and say, well, I have another old one. So we were in this cycle of and loving adopting the older dogs.
Mhm.
But Bugatti, my cat, was the only one who had come to me in a dream after he had passed. And almost to show me, like he died, he had his kidneys were he was losing his kidney function. So he was becoming very, very sick. But he came to me very shortly after he passed, and showed me himself out in the yard looking, you know, healthy. And I
Awesome.
thought, oh my gosh, for how guilty I felt about him being sick. I just thought, you know, he wanted me to see like, hey, I'm okay now. And look at how beautiful I am. He looked like he was young again, and the fur was nice, and he just looked so fabulous.
And that is an important thing that you're sharing, dear. And that happens with people, that happens with animals. When they cross over, they're perfect again. Okay? And they can, people, an aunt, a dad, a grandmom, the pet, cat, dog, bird, they can come visit us. And they're doing it from the spirit world, letting us know, like you said, I'm all right. I'm not in pain anymore. And I'm here because I love you.
And
Right, Cindy?
I know that, I believe it. And it was a gift because I was so upset about him being sick. And then when he came to me that fast and showed me himself, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, he knows that I'm upset and he just wants me to see like, yes, I'm okay.
Right.
So
And
that
you know
was
what?
awesome.
Yeah. And what I want to say to people here, when you lose a loved one, whether it's a fur baby or a person or anything else in between, okay? You can, before you go to bed, ask them to come and visit you in a dream, okay? And give them some space, time. Don't overdo it, expecting it has to be that night, but ask them. But also know that if you're still grieving them, that can get in the way of you receiving from them, okay? That makes sense? Because our grief is heavy. We want to be in that higher vibrational state of receiving. So there, yeah, okay. Cindy, go ahead. Anything else, Cindy?
No, that's just awesome what you just said. I have to remember that. I'm going to try that because I have 10 others who have passed. So I have 10 others that I'm still, well, my one little Sheltie, Holly, did come to me in a dream. It was quite a while after she had passed, but she did come to me in a dream, and we were kind of like at a bridge, which I thought was odd because, you know, everybody talks about the Rainbow Bridge. Well, it wasn't really a rainbow bridge, but it was a bridge, and it was snowy, and it was a beautiful scene. And she was just, she only had 3 legs. So when she walked, she did that hopping thing. In the dream, she wasn't hopping, you know, she was walking, she's walking through the snow, she looked happy. So I guess, again, you know, that was her way of saying, look it, I'm okay. But yeah, I guess I have 9 others that I'd really like to see them. So I'll have to work on that.
Well, and another thing, and because of my mediumship background, I just want to share that I find is an important key. And it works for people. I talk about it when I sit with somebody who I'm bringing through a loved one. But it also works with the animals. You know, if you think they're suffering, whether it's your mom or it's your pet, you know what? They can get out of that. Any of them. What do? They lift themselves out of their physical form. Their body may still be functioning for even a few more minutes, okay? But if they're in tremendous pain, they can leave their body so they're not feeling that pain. I feel that's an important thing that people need to know. Okay? It works with the animals and it works with our loved ones. If you see your father, your mother, a sister, whatever, suffering, they're not going to suffer long. They can stop it themselves before they cross over. Okay? So anyway.
Pamela, can I just, I don't want to take up too much time, but I know we're talking about cats and dogs, but just want to mention, I had a cockatiel, Charlie, who had a stroke and couldn't fly. And I felt, again, I felt guilty because I wasn't paying attention. there seems to be a reoccurring theme here, so I got to really watch that. But anyway, so it was months and months, maybe even close to a year, and I was sitting in bed reading a book, and I had the lights on, and in from the hallway into my room, 2 lemon yellow wings flew into my room, and that was his, as if to say, "Hi, mommy, I can fly again. I'm okay." I mean, I can tell you all here because I'm be dragged out like as a lunatic, but I mean, I mean, really, it was like, I'm okay now. I can fly. It was just his wings, 2, and it was about 10 seconds, and that was it. So you're right. If you're in pain, you don't really, your vibration, I guess, stays low. It's not high enough to receive their vibration, which they have to kind of reduce a little bit to get to ours. So when you're in pain,
Right.
I think that minimizes everything. Yeah. So
Right. Thank you, Sue. And Sue,
you're welcome.
and
You're
Sue
welcome.
and I have known each other for a number of years, and that she has sat in mediumship development courses. So it's like, for you to be sharing that, that's wonderful. But isn't that a gift, Sue?
Well, we all have, because of our love, I think we have that gift, because the love is that bond, right?
Exactly.
And enables. So yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and that's why mediumship occurs,
Mm.
because of the love that was developed between us here on the world of the physical world,
Mhm.
and those that have crossed over, whether it's a pet, a bird, a dog, a cat, or a loved one, a family member, a friend. That gift of mediumship, the gift of communicating between the two, is because that love is there, and that love can continue to grow. I've also learned we can resolve relationships
Right.
between the worlds.
Right.
Forgiveness, forgive a parent that may have been cruel or not there for us, or somebody else who hurt us. It's tremendous. It is a wonderful opportunity in that belief. Thanks so much, Sue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Awesome. Okay, there's a few more things here on the in the chat. If those of you who don't know how to access the chat, it's at the bottom, middle of the screen, and it pops up a window on the right side. And thank you, Sue, for putting in there some websites to check out. I did, Lori, to everyone. I never thought that when I felt a little breeze by my shoulder, that it would be my bird coming for a visit. You got a bird on the other side, Lori? Okay, she's nodding with the yes. You want to talk about the bird real quick? Hang on, can't hear you, sweetie.
She actually belonged to a friend who got her from an elderly woman who had passed away. And I had her 18 years. She was a cockatiel. My friend had her for 7, and the other woman had her for like 15. So she was already up there in age.
They live a long life, don't they?
Yes. And every time I would go to visit my friend and I'd walk in the house, she'd be laughing because the bird would be going crazy, walking back and forth on the bar and, banging its beak on the side of the cage. And she goes, he can hear your car coming. So he gets all excited every time he hears your car coming. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do birds. Sorry, I don't do birds. Keep them away. And she called me one day and she said, you got to take the bird because the cat had pried the top of the cage bars. And I said, fine, I'll take the stupid bird. Well, I really enjoyed the bird and got used to it. And I hate to say yes, I would put the bird in the bottom of the shower when I would shower.
Oh, Lord, what's the bird's name?
Kiki.
Kiki. Awesome.
And when I would be drying my hair, because I would like fluff her with a towel, but then I just put her off to the side so I could finish getting ready. But she would always fly on my shoulder when I had the hairdryer going, and she would hang, and it's really weird. she would hang upside down and spread her wings out. I'd have to stand there and get the freaking bird ready before I could finish getting ready myself. But she loved rock and roll music, like headbanging.
Jeez.
She loved it. She loved junk food, potato chips, specifically barbecue, popcorn, mashed potatoes, corn, you name it, because she would like scream in the cage while you were sitting at the
Awesome.
table that you had to feed her. And
Awesome.
one night, I had her out, she was out flying around. It was my mom's birthday and I was getting everything ready and I just finished frosting the cake. And she flew right in the middle of the cake and I picked her up and my first thought was to like chuck her. I was so mad. So I put her on the kitchen counter and I'm like, oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, seriously. So I scrape off the top of the cake where she landed and I check it. I said, okay.
Make sure there's nothing left there. Yeah.
I refrost it. I just grab her and I put her under the sprayer in the sink to get the frosting off of her. And then I went to my mother's birthday party and I never ever told anybody that the bird landed on top of the cake and I just scraped it off and put some clean stuff on. But yeah, she passed, God, I was living here. So she passed probably 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I had her for a long time.
Yep. Lori, thank you. With all the stories we were sharing here tonight, those upbeating, laughable stuff like what you just brought in was what I was hoping on from the cats, but instead we're getting it about the bird. Okay. And that's just totally awesome. We got Cindy laugh at LOL and with
She had a
face with the tears. Got Denise going, got Donald going. We're all, yeah, perfect. And they're kids. Whether they got feathers, whether they got fur, whether they got skin like we have, they're kids. And they're our kids. We love them dearly. But once in a while, they can be a handful. And that's what you're talking about. But thank you for bringing that in. I think Spirit gave you a nudge to do that because we needed a nice uplifting story here to kind of end this show with, for tonight's episode. Okay, and Sue's mentioned she had a Kiki too. All right. And what else? Cindy says, and I'm looking at chat. Cindy's talking. She said I had a cat Louie who ate a part of Graham's birthday cake. I did the same thing, loaded up the missing chunk with icing and smoothed it out. So, I mean, yeah.
Oh my God, that's a riot.
Oh, yeah. And that's your beautiful baby, Denise? Look at the ears on.
Oh.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And is he still puppy? Okay. Denise, you're silenced. Hang on.
4 months old.
4 months old. He's going to be a big guy.
Yeah,
He's
his
got
mommy and
big
daddy are
paws.
big.
He's got big paws too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, awesome.
I
Is
love
there
him.
well, thank you for bringing him into view for all of us. So is there another quick story that anybody wants to share here? Or we want to, okay. Judy's talking. Go ahead.
I'll say one thing, and I may have expressed this before, I'm not sure, but one of my cats had developed liver cancer, and I was having him treated. And I was fortunate to have a vet who only treated cats. And but he had started sleeping on the pillow above my head. And he was such a good boy. And he loved to purr. When I woke up, he purred and purred and purred. Well, after I had him put to sleep because he was in pain. And so, of course, I was devastated. I would always get so attached to all my pets. I was so devastated. Slept that night And as I was waking, and you know, when we're in that state, we're very open, just going to sleep or just waking up. But I started waking up and not even thinking about him being gone. I could feel him and hear his purring on the pillow just above my head. And he would do this on my head.
Yep.
And there he
Maybe.
went. And then it took me a minute. Then as I started waking up, I realized he was no longer in the physical body.
Right.
It sure felt physical. Those claws felt physical.
Yeah.
Kneading on my head. But I like to tell people that wonder if they continue to live beyond physical death.
Exactly. And you're sensitive enough to experience it. Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. Is there another quick story anybody would like to share, or we've got a couple nice positive ones here, or another laugher, or but I think we're going to close there. If that's okay with everybody, because usually the show, I know we've been running an hour and a half for a couple of the last ones, but basically it's an hour. And I want to say it's been wonderful. We had a few sad stories. It's okay. And people just needed to talk and share about those. But in talking about these animals, we bring them to life again, don't we? Okay. We bring them to life again. Awesome. Okay, one quick moment here. Cindy wrote, after Bugatti passed, I would feel him on the bed and go to sleep. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It was some great interactions, some wonderful stories and shares. And that was the purpose really of having celebration, even though it was for the cats, and we brought the birds in, we brought the dogs in, and we had fun. It was great. So I will be here next week. No idea what the topic's going to be yet, but we'll post it and share. And please pass these announcements along to friends and family. Anybody who else is an animal lover who wants to be a part of our experience. And for those of you who want to track me down, Pamela Marie Edmunds, your host. So it's Pamela Marie Edmunds at .com. And, yep. And then there's petdetectivesinternational.net, where this will be posted, and all our work in regards to the animals. And it'll be good. And there are a couple cases that are in process right now. So as there's more information to bring forward, we'll share them and let you know a little bit, because pet detectives, we're about helping to find others, pets that are missing and have moved on. And where have they moved on? Did they move on to somebody else's neighborhood? Does somebody else have them at their home? Are they still out there? Or have they crossed over to the spirit world? So that's all a big part of it. So anyway, thank you all for being here. God bless you all. And Lori's saying wonderful show tonight. And Sue says, thank you, Pamela, and everyone. So another great show from Cindy. And Lori says, I feel my cat Daisy come up on the bed and go to sleep. Okay, that's great. Awesome. So anyway, take care, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
You too. And thank
Good
you,
night,
Donald.
everybody.
I couldn't
Thank you
type.
for being here. And another quick thing, Donald does pause MIA. What day of the month do you do that, Donald?
That's the first Sunday of the month. So this coming Sunday, there will be a show on.
Okay.
Live
And-
on OB
Right.
Radio Online.
Right. Okay. And you can find that information on Facebook, your Facebook group. All right. And one other quick thing, I was just being reminded too. We got a time change coming up this
Oh,
weekend.
excuse me.
Okay, that's going to affect the radio show. I'm in Arizona, state that does not change time like you guys do. So it's still going to start at 5 o'clock my time,
But it will be
but
set.
it's going to calculate out to an hour early for everybody else in this country.
Oh, good.
All right,
Good.
1 hour earlier. I'm going to post that in my description, but I know that I'm going to be nice about this. Not everybody reads all the things I write as description, okay? All right, but I'm going to post that there and let you know.
Like, she's not
So-
pointing fingers, but I was one of them that didn't read the whole
Me
thing.
too.
and missed it.
There's a couple.
Me too, Lori.
I also changed it and put a nice link that was easy to click on, right?
Yes.
Much easier. Much more
That was,
professional.
yeah, that's great. That was a
Great.
great
I was
idea.
searching
So-
all your numbers. I've
Right.
written them
Right,
down.
so next week, it's gonna be an hour earlier. So I'm forewarning everybody who's listening, okay? But I will post it. I will post it everywhere I can. But the thing is, people need to read it. So that's my spiel, all right? Hope to see you next week for whatever we're doing, but we will be here. So have a good week, everyone.
You
Big
too.
hugs from Sedona.
Peace out.
And God bless you all.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good night.
Take
Good
care.
night,
Good night, all.
Yep, good
Bye-bye.
night.
Good night.
Good
Good night.